everywhere in this country. When you talk about Holocaust survivors,
yes, it is.
my producer who produces me every day's grandparents.
We're going to break, and when we come back, you can continue talking, but now we're going to break, so we'll be right back. I'm cutting you off because we have to go, Meg.
Okay, we're going to play this clip in its entirety, but this is an exchange between Meghan McCain as she does this long rant and Whoopi Goldberg, who basically had enough of it. But the context of the conversation is so important. Let's take a listen in to the entire exchange.
Well, I mean, I can't stand Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think she's a crazy person. I've said that over and over again. But she has been stripped of her committees. She has absolutely no legislative power in Congress whatsoever, which juxtaposed when Ilhan Omar said that Jewish people had hypnotized the world and it was all about the Benjamins. She's still on the Foreign Relations Committee, and she's able to dictate our foreign policy in the United States of America. So what do you expect Republicans to do? I think that's taking a lot more action against a crazy person than I would say the Democrats are doing on the left. I would love if the energy that is being put on one crazy woman in Congress, and by the way, if she is the face of the Republicans, then the squad is the face of the Democrats. I would love Democrats to put that same type of energy onto what's happening on the left, because quite frankly, this is how people get red-pilled. They're red-pilled when they see the blatant bias in the media. It's because the media doesn't want the squad to look bad. They just want Marjorie Taylor to look bad. Anti-Semitism is a huge problem everywhere in this country. When you talk about Holocaust survivors,
yes, it is.
my producer who produces me every day's grandparents.
We're going to break, and when we come back, you can continue talking, but now we're going to break, so we'll be right back. I'm cutting you off because we have to go, Meg.
I'm sorry. I can't help but laugh at this. I mean, there's a lot of things in what Meghan McCain was saying that are problematic that we'll discuss momentarily. But I just can't get enough of how she's just having this meltdown, because how dare Whoopi Goldberg cuts her off to go to a break that actually pays your salary, Meghan. You have no skills. You have no discernible skill set. You get paid about $3 million a year. The least you could do is shut up in time to get the payments in. You got to run the ads, Meghan. Now, I want to play a clip of Marjorie Taylor Greene because Meghan McCain is trying to draw a false equivalence between Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is a sociopath, okay, and the squad, AOC, Ilhan Omar, right, and Rashida Tlaib, and the rest of them. She's trying to draw this false equivalence. And I want you to listen to this clip that we covered on today's show, where Marjorie Taylor Greene really shows the depth of her anti-Semitism. But this particular type of anti-Semitism is okay with people like Meghan McCain because, well, it goes lockstep with their political agenda and, quite frankly, their religious agenda. Here is Marjorie Taylor Greene with her sociopathy.
And Congresswoman, I've got to play you this. It's about 20 seconds or so. This is Nancy Pelosi today literally talking about this idea of segregation, like literally putting unvaccinated House members in a different area. Have a look at this.
You have to wait for them to be vaccinated because they are selfishly a endangerment to other people, including staff people here. So while we're all hopeful, and I join the president in being hopeful that we can reach a place where it is safe for people to be. What is this, the honor system? The honor system as to whether somebody's been vaccinated? Do you want them breathing in your face on the strength of their honor?
This is out of control, Congresswoman.
This woman is mentally ill. You know, we can look back in a time in history where people were told to wear a gold star, and they were definitely treated like second-class citizens, so much so that they were put in trains and taken to gas chambers in Nazi Germany.
This is what she compared wearing a mask and getting vaccinated, or rather what Nancy Pelosi is asking them to do in order to protect other members of the House. She's comparing it to the Holocaust. Right. The level of anti-Semitism in that clip and then David Brody, the host, just nodding his head and agreeing. Oh, yeah, I couldn't agree more that Americans asking you to wear a mask and asking you to get vaccinated. And if you don't, then don't come around us. Yeah, that's totally the same as the Holocaust. This is what Meghan McCain is really complaining about here. She's trying to draw an equivalence between that and the squad, because the squad had the nerve to speak out on behalf of the Palestinian people over the last week of conflict that we saw in the Middle East. That said, Meghan McCain is insufferable, and Whoopi Goldberg just really couldn't. She really couldn't put up with it much more.
everywhere in this country. When you talk about Holocaust survivors,
yes, it is.
my producer who produces me every day's grandparents.
We're going to break, and when we come back, you can continue talking, but now we're going to break, so we'll be right back. I'm cutting you off because we have to go, Meg.
Because you got to get paid, Meghan. You have to get paid to sit there and be an insufferable brat whose only discernible skill set is that you are the daughter of John McCain. That's it. That's literally all you. That's your only skill set as you draw these false equivalences between people who advocate on behalf of the lives of Palestinian children and most assuredly an anti-Semite in Marjorie Taylor Greene. But I also want to point out one other thing. She really thought she was doing something when she said, when she said, if Marjorie Taylor Greene represents the Republican Party, then the squad represents the Democratic Party. Watch this.
And by the way, if she is the face of the Republicans, then the squad is the face of the Democrats.
We'll take it. We'll take it. The squad? Yeah. In fact, I hope that the Democratic Party is completely drenched and completely taken over by people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, by people like Rashida Tlaib, by people like Ilhan Omar, who actually care about the humanity of not just their own person and their own personal friends, but they care about the humanity of all Americans. And oh, by the way, they care about the humanity of people globally. I think she thought she was doing something right there. She was like, if that is what we're going to be called, like, if that's the got you moment, then you got us. We absolutely want the Democratic Party to look like the squad. And yes, the Republican Party, you all absolutely are the party of Marjorie Taylor Greene.
And by the way, if she is the face of the Republicans, then the squad is the face of the Democrats.